And welcome back to our Thursday Sports Fix. We've dealt with AFL tips. The Flowman's been looking at local football, but now it's time to look at some NBL, some basketball action, and our basketball guru, Dan, the basketball man, Dan Crouch. He joins us now. Mate, how are you today?
Yeah, pretty good, Clayton. Pretty good. There's NBA, there's NBL, there's AFL all on at the moment, so it's a good time of year for me. I'm a happy chappy.
You're not the only one. We're all loving it. But I wasn't loving it when my beloved Adelaide 36ers went down to the Wildcats the other day.
No, it would have been nice to get a win there, but look, there's never any shame losing to the Wildcats. They're obviously one of the better teams going around, and the Sixers put up a pretty good fight. They only went down by 10 points. To the team that's probably looking like the premiership favourite at this point. They're sitting on top of the ladder. They've got by far the best point differential. That's a pretty good loss. And not to mention, the Sixers didn't have Isaac Humphries or Josh Giddey playing. So right there, that's probably the two best players on the team unavailable. And they held their own pretty well. They never got blown out of the water. The 10-point margin, probably does reflect how good the Sixers were. So, yeah, not a terrible effort, but it would have been great to see them get the win, obviously.
There's one thing that I've always learned with the NBL, and that's when the Wildcats are at the top and doing well, everyone else is very nervous because they are extremely hard to beat. Yeah,
they are. They're an absolute powerhouse. They're up there year after year. Yeah. They nail their imports every year. They've got good coaching staff. What more can you really say about them? They're just exactly a powerhouse, right. And they're tough to contend with.
Well, there is a game coming up tonight. So we've got the Breakers and Melbourne United.
Yes, Breakers and Melbourne United tonight. That should be a pretty good one. The Breakers are sitting down the bottom of the ladder, just about 4-10 in 8th place, with a pretty ordinary minus 60-point differential. But I wouldn't rule them out in this one. Melbourne United have been on the slide. I think they've only won 2 of their last 7 or something like that, 2 of their last 6. So, yeah, Melbourne United have been on the slide. Melbourne United will probably get up, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see the Breakers pull off the upset there.
All right, and then tomorrow night, the Wildcats, they're taking on the Hawks.
Yes, and once again, the Wildcats are a powerhouse. It's pretty hard to tip against them, but the Hawks are going along all right. They're sitting at 9-7 with a plus 29-point differential, and they really are fighting for a playoff spot or a final spot, rather. They need to win this one. They've got the Bullets right on their heels, separated by just a point differential of 16. They've got the exact same record. And then the Kings, with one more game played, have just one more in the loss column, but have a much superior point differential to the Hawks. So if the Hawks drop this one, they'll actually drop out of the top 4 there to the Kings. They really need a win here, but like we said, that's always tough going against the Wildcats.
I don't think the Breakers will bounce back whatever the result happens against Melbourne United. I can't see them defeating the Bullets on Saturday night.
No, another tough game for them, and the Bullets, we just said they're right in that tier of fighting for playoff spots, so you'd expect them to come out really, really hungry in that game. Anytime you get a game against a bottom 2 opponent in a must-win game, you just absolutely have to win it. So, yeah, they've got a really, really good chance there to really strengthen their case for a playoff spot. So, they'll be really wanting to get up in that one. So that should be interesting, and we'll see how it goes.
A game that I'm sure both you and I will be glued to will be the Phoenix and Melbourne United on Saturday night, though.
Yes, the old Victorian rivalry. Obviously, it's pretty new. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix haven't been around for too long, but that should be a good one. Southeast Melbourne, I spoke about it on the Friday Sports Show last week. They've been they've run into a bit of trouble with one of their star players, Mitch Creek. Obviously, he's had some allegations made against him, and he's suspended by the team as a result, which really, really commends Southeast Melbourne for making that tough decision to keep him at home for a little bit, because obviously he's one of their best players, but it's good for their culture, and you really love to see teams doing that and doing the responsible thing when serious matters are, going through the courts and whatnot. So, to me, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are the most interesting team in the league at the moment, given the Mitch Creek situation. So I'm really intrigued to see how they're going to respond and how they're going to play for the next few weeks. So, That's going to be a really good one to watch. And like we said, Melbourne United, they're slumping a little bit. So, a lot on the line for both teams. Top 2 spot also on the line with South East Melbourne, a game and a half behind. Obviously, the one extra game played, but 2 more in the loss column and a superior point differential. So it really could determine which one of those teams will be able to lock up a top 2 spot by the end of the season.
The Kings have got a tough one on Sunday when they take on the top side, the Wildcats.
Yeah, Wildcats obviously only 15 games played so far, so they've got a few to make up compared to the 36ers are at 19 and the Taipans are at 18. So, yeah, obviously they've got a busy week and who knows, maybe the Kings are probably getting them at a pretty good time. They'll be pretty fatigued after a heavy schedule, so really good chance for the Kings to get an upset win there, but they're in that middle bracket where they're fighting for a final spot. So they're at 9 and 8 with a good point differential, and another really important win on the cards there for them if they can pull it off. And against a fatigued Wildcats team, I just think they might be able to.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. For some reason, I'm just fancying Sydney in this game. I just think they might come up too strong for the Wildcats. The final game for this particular round, we've got the Taipans and the 36ers. This is absolutely must win for the 36ers.
It is. The Taipans 4-14 with a negative 112 point differential, sitting dead last on the ladder. You're right, the Sixers just have to win that. Sixers are the only team in the league with a worse point differential than the Taipans, 10 points behind them at negative 122. So it really is a battle of the stragglers down there. But the 36ers, unbelievably, are still barely within reach of a final spot. So they really do need to win that one. We'll see. I think Josh Giddey will still be unavailable for that one, still out. And I'm not sure about Isaac Humphries. But if they can get either of those two back, there'll be a great shot. Obviously, they played a really good game the other night against the Wildcats, and they'd hate to lose that momentum by losing to the bottom team after, really pushing the top team. But, we'll see who's available for the game and if they're at full strength. And if they are, I'll really be fancying them for a win. And if they're not, well, hopefully they can still get the win.
They're going to get the win. I'm telling you that now, Dan. Trust me, they will win that game. Trust me.
I love the confidence.
And now you'll be on the sports show tomorrow, no doubt, talking some NBA. Have you got an update on what's happening with LeBron and his injury?
Yes, that's right. Well, LeBron and his injury, he's looks like he's going to be out for about 3 weeks. So he's not in any danger of missing the playoffs, but the Lakers, they're struggling without him and also Anthony Davis already on the sideline. So they need to keep winning games to make sure they finish with a pretty high ranking in the playoffs and avoid the tougher opponents in the early rounds. But, we'll have a good chat on Friday on the sports show, and we're going to be focusing on the NBA trade deadline, which I believe is going to be at about 5:30 a.m. on Friday morning our time. So I'll be waking up Friday morning, digesting hopefully there'll be loads of trades going down and all the excitement, and getting ready to chat about that and go through it all on the Friday sports show.
Now, folks, when Dan says he'll be waking up to that, what he means is he'll be up all night, glued to it all, and then he'll go to sleep. Isn't that right, Dan?
You know what? You're spot on. You're spot on, because what usually happens is I'm ready to go to bed and I get a notification that someone's been traded, and then all the dominoes start falling and I can't sleep. So, I think you might be spot on there, Clayton.
We're starting to know you rather too well, I feel, but there you go. All right, Dan, look forward to that. And look forward to you being on the sports show tomorrow. But thank you for joining us on the Sports Fix for today, and hopefully you can land a few 3-pointers.
Thanks, mate. All the best, and go to the 36ers.